tapped into the soft power frequency.
Coming to you live from the village in the sky, welcome to Soft Power Hour. Welcome to the Church of Soft Power. My name is Siobhan, and I am one of the founding artists here tonight with my co-founder Midori, while our resting co-founders, I see one of them in the chat, Flo and Kiki are on sabbatical in this season, but this is our lay-led church for the spirits of creativity, connection, care, change, and choice. Soft Power Hour is our live stream service gathering every first Monday of the month here on Soft Power TV for an hour of connection with our community, our breath, our bodies, and spirits. So without further ado, let's tap into the frequency. Before we jump all the way in, we always like to be mindful of the body experience. Tonight we're going to talk a little astrology. We'll do a little meditation, connecting with ourselves, and a little somatic tending and body tending. So before we dive into that, this Rainbow of Readiness is here to help you decide if you're in a place to engage with these practices, engage with the subconscious. If you're not, totally understandable, because things are, there's every reason not to be in the place right now. But this is how we come together each month to just reconnect with these parts of ourselves. And wherever you're at on the rainbow, you are welcome here. We just like to share a little of the nervous system education that we've gotten with you that has taught us that in the 2 to 4 space is where we're most able to receive what's offered here, where our optimal growth can happen. But either way, welcome. And let's pick a chakra tonight for our tapping into the frequency tone. So I'm feeling the root today. I'm feeling a sound, just grounding. We were really excited in planning this month's service, thinking about Jupiter entering Leo, and we almost had our Leo rising star guest star, but we decided to push that to the Leo solar season because the vibes feel a lot cozier, a lot more gentle, a lot more restful tonight. And so if you're not familiar with the chakras, the root is connected to our sense of safety. It sits at the base of our spine, and just imagining roots like a tree going into the earth and connecting us as we make this sound. And shout out to Dr. Kiki, the voice doula, for bringing us this framework. So I'm going to sing the note 3 times. I invite you to join me in unison on the first one, and on the second and third, feel free to take it wherever your body leads you, wherever your voice leads you, as Dr. Kiki calls it, your soul's unique frequency, as we create and open this circle here together. Exhaling all that stale air that you arrived here with, and taking in a deep, fresh breath through the nose, if you can. Letting that note just go a little longer than is comfortable, getting everything out of there. If it brings some fry in the end, taking another breath in. I'll sing the same one, but pick one that resonates with a part of you today that needs some activation. And our third breath. We are now tapped into the soft power frequency. All right. I just always feel that subtle but significant shift when we do that, feeling like we're more here, more together. And before we dive into the fullness of tonight's service, I wanted to bring this up at the start tonight. Our fundraiser to resource um, the church, as we have had some shifts, some changes in programming, and just a shift in season that's changed, I think, people's ability to commit on a monthly basis, which is always welcome and okay. However, it also means that we need to come to y'all, to our membership, to our audience, community, our village in the sky, and our universe to ask if you receive anything from Soft Power and have the means to become a monthly donor. We are looking to raise just $125 a month more, I believe, to cover the cost of things like Zoom, our streaming services, and all the things that help keep our lights on. We are a volunteer run community, and we appreciate that. If you are not able to give monetarily at this time, sharing any of our videos or inviting friends to our gatherings, giving us a testimonial so we can share what this means with other folks who might be able to donate, all of that is welcome. And the link for that is also in the description of this video. So thanks for that. And we are going to jump right in today with a movement practice. It's going to be the same one as the last month's. And I'm looking, sorry, I was looking at the chat. Is there a way to support without a fee? Um, if you mean without a fee, if Give Butter's asking for a fee, do we have any other ways right now that we take donations, Midori?
I believe that you can, there should be a couple clicks and you can not give, I think there's a way to not pay the fee on Give Butter. If you click, I think it's like a little, uh, like smaller text that you have to just click that. Other than that, that really is the main way that we receive donations right now. The Venmo we were using is now my personal Venmo, so not currently. Yeah, Give Butter is the main way to give to us right now.
Sweet, thank you. And if you meant to support without giving money, then yes, follow us, get on our email list, share with friends. Any supportive words also help, or just lovely thoughts are also welcome. So let me take this down now. Today, we're going to share again. It feels just like the similar vibe from last month. This is a tried and true practice. Shout out to Flo of Soul Bloom. Last month was the exclusive premiere movement practice, but we're going to share the 9-minute energy reset that Flo shared with us. And she also has more videos on her YouTube channel. I think she just dropped one recently. Follow her Soul Bloom TV for more somatic practices, for Qigong, and check out the Soul Bloom shop, as well as following Flo on IG at soul.bloom, BLUME. So this is a mostly seated practice to move energy. Feel free to join us. And if you don't feel called to do this practice, then just tense your body for the next 9-ish minutes.
Gently massage yourself starting at the neck. Loving touch induces oxytocin, also known as the connection hormone. You can lower your gaze, close your eyes if that feels safe, and start to massage your scalp. This promotes blood circulation and reduces stress. You can also vocalize your breath to stimulate the vagus nerve and slowly open your jaw to reduce tension in the jaw muscle and joint. Massage the ears. There are many acupressure points here. Making sounds and humming and singing directly activates the vagus nerve and promotes relaxation and calms the nervous system. Exfoliate and release tension, help your body relax. Massage the muscles in your face, cheeks, jaws. Massage down the neck to the clavicles to support lymphatic drainage and stay connected with your breath. Let's start our tapping portion. Hands across your chest and lightly tap your shoulders, opening the lung meridians. Stimulate blood circulation, support lymphatic drainage. Feel and let go of sadness and grief. The lung meridian is connected to the heart and the emotion of grief. Stay connected with your breath. Exhale out the mouth. Increase presence, self-compassion, and energy flow. Let's transition to tapping at the center and across your chest, heart, and clavicles. Vocalize your breath and release any stress and stuck emotions. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's transition to tap under each armpit and stimulate lymphatic drainage in the armpit lymph nodes. Our body contains these small pockets called lymph nodes. That's part of the lymphatic and immune system to filter out waste, toxins, bacteria, and viruses. When the lymph is not moving, you can feel inflamed, sluggish, heavy, and even emotionally stuck. Switch sides. The lymphatic system is responsible for removing waste and excess fluids. So daily exercises like qigong, tapping, walking, self-massages, intentional movement helps drain lymphatic fluids and clear stagnation. Movement improves circulation, flushes out waste, increases blood, oxygen, and energy flow, and your vitality. Okay, let's transition to looking left to right. Release tension in the neck, shake your head no, and move at your own pace. Let's transition to seated cat-cows. Inhale to look up towards the sky, open the spine, chest, shoulders, and throat. Exhale to round, invite fluid motion. Sync your breath to movement. Release spinal fluid and tension in the spinal nerves and joints. The spine loves fluid, flowy, and intuitive motion. Inhale to expand and exhale to contract and let go. Invite in your intentions. Exhale and release what no longer serves you. 2 more sets. Last set here. Let's move on. Transition to 30 seconds of free-form fluid spinal movement. Give yourself permission to explore, express, and move freely. Stay connected with your breath. Release stress, tension, and stagnation in every breath out. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's transition to rotating the wrists and ankles in one direction. You can alternate and switch direction when you're ready. Stay connected with your breath. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's reverse the forearms and wrists, stretch and breathe into your forearms and wrists. You can hum to regulate your nerves and feel more calm and grounded. Let's move on to assisted spinal mobility. You can use your chair, bed, or table for support. Just move your hips and spine freely, inviting that fluid, intuitive motion to your body and spine, inviting rotation, circles, cat-cows, rocks and sways. All of this spinal movement helps release spinal fluid and tension in the nerves and nervous system, which increases energy levels and vitality, helping you feel more alive and awake naturally. Let's rise to standing hip circles 15 times on each side. Move at your own pace. Get some movement and blood circulation to the lower back and hips. And switch sides whenever you're ready. Moving that chi, moving that energy. Slowly dive into a standing forward fold and lightly bounce up and down. Forward folds stimulate the spinal nerves, creates space between the vertebrae, and lengthens the spine, which all supports the nervous system to reduce stress and anxiety. This posture and bouncing motion activates the parasympathetic nervous system, aka the rest and digest system, to promote relaxation and calm. Slowly rise, seated torso, goddess pose. Just twisting your torso from left to right, side to side. Seated cat cows. Exhale, side out. Great job. Hope you feel more relaxed, alive, energized. Thank you for your practice. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Flo, for that practice. I felt the emotions trying to escape from me during. It's now time for our planetary sermon.
Thank you, Soul Bloom. Thanks, Siobhan, for that beautiful intro and dropping us into the frequency. Hello, everybody. Y'all know who I am. My name is Midori. And I'm here today to give a little astro sermon. The one, I think as a little baby astrologer, I'm always like, what do I want to share? Because there's always so much going on. There's so many things that could be highlighted and talked about in this sermon. But I felt like today was a good day to talk about Jupiter. And I like to give context to astrology for those who may not be as well versed in the language and the wisdom tradition that it is. So, yeah, I've been feels very, very present. Jupiter as this ancestor. I know Siobhan is a very beautiful expression, I think, of someone who embodies a very Jupiterian energy. They have their Sagittarius rising, which is a Jupiter ruled situation. And so I'll give you a little context. So when we say, I wanted to kind of split the planets in these different categories for you to kind of understand this. So personal planets, these are the sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. And these are all the celestial bodies closest to the Earth. They're all considered personal because they have the shortest orbital cycles, meaning it's the shortest cycle around, and as well as they are a representation of our daily life and our emotions, or like our immediate self-expression. And because they move so quickly, they tend to, it feels like it's a very personal, I would say, expression. And then we have social planets. So I'm talking about Jupiter and Saturn, and these are more of the middle ground between personal identity and collective consciousness, because then there's the outer planets as well, which you might have heard of, which are Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So Jupiter is this social planet that is more of the middle ground between personal and collective consciousness. And Jupiter governs around growth, expansion, like personal frameworks and philosophies. And when I feel into Jupiter, like from an astronomical lens, Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system. It has a mass nearly 2.5 times that of all the other planets combined, and its diameter is 11 times wider than Earth. So this Jupiter as a planet has, it's crazy, the strongest magnetic field of any other planet, and it's 20,000 times stronger than the Earth's. And so that gravity actually acts as a shield for the inner planets, deflecting or capturing comets and asteroids that might otherwise threaten Earth. So that's why it's so beautiful, because the astrological signification of Jupiter is this expansive, kind of like protective planet. And when you think about the astronomy and the literal, like the fact that it has that big magnetic field that literally protects Earth, is also very interesting, and wanted to give that context. So yeah, and Jupiter is considered a benefic, meaning that it brings more of like a beneficial energy to it. So it has transited into Leo, which is a very solar sign. And I feel like, I mean, we still have Mercury in retrograde, and Mercury just went into retrogrades, and that's in a lunar sign. But this Jupiter in Leo, I think, is going to kind of give a little more of a like warmth to what has felt maybe really watery the past year. So Jupiter spends a year in a sign, so it'll be in Leo for a year. And so I feel like it's kind of kicking us into a little bit more of a solar expression. But it's also opposed Pluto, which is this planet of the subconscious. So it's like this push-pull of like, how are we, what I've been feeling, it's more of a feeling for me. What I've been feeling like Jupiter Leo is about, especially as it's opposed Pluto, is how are we being more grounded in ourself, and how is that reflecting the collective, and how do we want to move in a way that still acknowledges the collective experience, but also shines a light on who we are and who we want to become and where we see ourselves going. And I feel like that when I feel into Jupiter, it's this massive planet, and it's to be in this sun sign. It feels the solar sign. It feels like it's this time to, it's a spotlight. It's a spotlight on who you are, what you stand for, what your purpose that you feel like is in this moment. And for me, I have a natal Jupiter. Me and Siobhan both have a natal Jupiter in Leo. And so I I think it's our time, y'all. For people who do have this placement or everyone has Leo in their chart. So it just depends where it's hitting. For me, it's in the 4th house of ancestry and home, and my idea of home. And the way that I feel like it's expanding me is I feel like I'm a child of the world in a lot of ways, even though I'm so rooted here in Oakland. And I feel like there's this very strong commitment towards staying in this place in the Bay Area. But I feel this like mycelial network forming between in this village in the sky, even though we're so we're all in different places. I feel like there's these actual like roots that are growing down into the soil, and I can really feel our connection and what we're building here together, and how connected we are through the land, and through just staying in consistent connection with one another and staying sovereign in what we in our daily lives, but still valuing that connection and this like pulse and heartbeat. Because one of the things that I've really been reflecting on, and I know me and Siobhan have talked about a lot with Soft Power, is that we've been in a lot of these like virtual programs that like span a couple months and then they're just done. And the way that that's really beautiful and it's very transformative to create connection and weave, but at the same time it's like, okay, then the 3 months are done, and then how are we staying connected and how are we continuing to grow, and build relationship with one another? And so at least my wish in this Jupiter and Leo transit is to continue staying connected to my purpose, which is very intertwined with our village in the sky here, to stay committed to what we're building, even when it's not glamorous, even when it means like every single month showing up at first Monday, like every single month we've been showing up and streaming, even when it feels like, I don't want to show up to facilitate something. Every time I end the call, I'm like, no, this is why I do this, is because it's about y'all. It's about like the energy that I feel like we've woven together, and all the energy that has been poured into like building the foundations for this sanctuary and continuing to pulse and like show up, and it doesn't, I love that our Discord doesn't feel like there's any obligation to engage, but when people put such heartfelt shares and their prayers and their when they want to be witnessed, like that's Jupiter and Leo to me. When they need to be witnessed, like we all come together and like can acknowledge one another. And I feel like that's the power of Jupiter and Leo, is like the witnessing, without having to save one another, without feeling like we need to. I think that could be the shadow of Jupiter and Leo, is maybe some saviorism or wanting to be always on stage and always seen and heard and kind of outsourcing your power. But there is a magic in witnessing that I think Jupiter and Leo like really brings to the table. And I think that's why all of the founding artists have such strong Leo placements, is because we know the power of seeing somebody and being witnessed. And that really is the magic of Soft Power too, is hopefully continuing to build stages, build sanctuaries where we can be in space together and just provide that visibility to one another when it feels like, especially during these times where we're definitely seeing that become harder and harder to, especially for queer folks, for folks who of the global majority, artists, like we need to build our own platforms to share our art, to share a message. And so, I know we had said that we are going to be putting, our facilitator applications up for our members, and that's still coming. So just want to say that like that is our goal, to continue to like level the playing field so more people can facilitate in our village as well. But yeah, Leo's also a fixed sign. So there's this also a quality of staying the course. Yeah, I really love this space, and I appreciate y'all for being here and listening to me talk about the energy, whatever Jupiter wants. I'm always just like, Jupiter, what planet wants to come forth and say something, and that's how this astrological sermon goes down. So I'll let Siobhan segue into anything she has to say, because she got a stellium in Leo over here. She's Miss Leo, so I would love to give you space to share too.
Thank you, Mimi, for the report. I love seeing everyone share their Leo placements in the chat. Vibecaster's 5th house with Venus, Holy Haunted Leo Mars in the 8th, same. 9th and whole sign, but like Midori said, I have Mars, Venus, and Jupiter all in Leo. I feel inspired as you're sharing. I pulled up this reading that I recently had that was about the church because something that you said about the spotlight stuck out to me. So I have been working with a energy worker named Mia Foster that I got a specific reading report or session about the church, and this is from the lens of my energy and like my soul's relationship to the church, but there's a part of it I wanted to read that feels very relevant, because what stuck out to me was that she said that our church is largely made up of the like back of the church type of people who are still getting used to the light, was another phrase that she used. So I just wanted to kind of read an excerpt from it, because it offers a visual that I feel really represented me. I shared it with my co-founders and they were like, yeah, I see aspects of this too. And knowing that we've all been called here for different like reasons, seasons, exchanges, all of that, it's been such a cool journey, even just between the founding relationship of Midori and I, to like grow in confidence to share what I see and what I feel called to do when I didn't like incept the Church of Soft Power myself, like necessarily. Like Midori invited me in on the vision. And so there's something in this collaboration that I feel like Midori said, we're in this like sustainable, the vision is like for the long haul. Like this is our literal village in the sky. And as somebody who is a birth worker who helps people like really identify and build their villages, it feels very appropriate that alongside building that as a doula the last few years, I've been building this virtual home, because I feel like it just fits what is practical and accessible in this world, and we can have and should tend to what we can in terms of the in-person village, but the virtual village matters, and this is the only village that many of our members can access, that affirms our identities, our genders, our sexualities, and all of it. And so as much as we've been so excited to like get the in-person things going, I've grown in so much more comfort of being so certain that there's so much powerful work happening here, even if it's just YouTubes and Zooms that we gather. So let me read you what Mia said. So she said, and when she says you, she's speaking of like in this trance place, she's like engaging with my soul, right? My higher self, however you want to refer to it. So she said, right away, you told us you wanted to show us your church first. We found ourselves standing at the side of this large rocky mountain. There was a small river cutting through it, and the entrance into your church space was through these little boats that traveled in a cave system through the mountain itself. They were constantly moving, almost like the It's a Small World ride at Disneyland, that slow-moving communal feeling. As we traveled through the cage, the mountain opened up and we could see people standing inside these inner cave spaces, working, moving around, and interacting with one another. The entire environment carried a very strong community atmosphere. The space was lit with colored light frequencies of reds, blues, yellows, soft glowing tones everywhere. That just reminds me of the your soul's unique frequency, like Kiki always emphasizes. And she said it felt alive and relational. This was closer to a co-op, or and mind you, Mia doesn't know anything about soft power. This is all like psychic tap into. So the people there felt like individuals trying to find safety, belonging, and emotional refuge. There's a strong undertone of you are safe here, you are allowed to exist here, you are allowed to have beliefs here. That was important structurally because it showed that the foundation of what you're building is relational and sanctuary oriented rather than authoritarian. Eventually, the boats exited out the other side of the mountain, and the environment opened into a huge grassy field surrounded by mountains in a circular formation. The field itself was flat and expansive. Um, let's see. I'm going to just skip through some of this. It doesn't carry that artificial, spiritual, corporate feeling. Um, it felt humble, relational, people-oriented, and you explain that you chose this land specifically because there's so much open space, which that really stands out to me with what Midori's saying too around land and, like, this landscape that is very real and, tangible in so many ways through the virtual space. So one thing we noticed, it says, "The gardens off to the sides toward the back of the field were overgrown with weeds." You acknowledged this and said, "We're gonna get to that," and that suggested that parts of the system are still being actively cultivated and developed. One thing we noticed was that although there were many people inside the mountain, almost nobody was standing openly in the field outside. When you asked about that, you explained that many of the people who come here are still adjusting to being in the light. Many of the people attracted are what you call back of the room people, quiet people, reserved people, individuals who are used to hiding themselves, protecting themselves, or existing on the edges socially and emotionally. You explained that you told them you were meeting with us today and they decided to greet us in their own way. That's why they stayed within and while we passed through. And their version of greeting us was simply allowing themselves to be seen. So that's what I wanted to share. And what I feel called to guide us through tonight in terms of just grounding together and just wanting to invite our spirits to step out to the light if they're ready and if they consent and are feeling safe. That is why we bring up that rainbow of readiness to know that it's a spectrum. We shift where we're at every day, and change happens through those consistent choices. Sometimes I'm not ready or in the mood to step into the light, or it's not the season. And to what Midori was speaking to, Jupiter and Cancer was so watery. Obviously, for myself as a Jupiter ruled person, but I think there's many reasons that all of these, there's so many angles the astrologers have been sharing with us for what has been going down. But there's something that also I'm hearing many speak to about this month, about this year, especially in um there's so many ways that astrology is kind of like giving us the explanation. But as someone who just feels it, it feels like now is the time that so many of us have been preparing for. And the assignment, to quote Soul Bloom, is to be you. We just need you to be you, the fairy goddess said. So inviting us for a few minutes to be in a more meditative space. If you want to get a little bit comfier, I'm going to take a sip of water. And the words that Midori used were shining the light on who we are and who we want to become. That's an intention for this meditation, and putting the spotlight on who you are and what you stand for. And so If you haven't already, I welcome you to close your eyes and if you are not quite feeling stillness, you can stay in motion. But if you feel comfortable to be still, you can relax just a little bit deeper than you already have been, imagining these roots dropping from your spine, bringing us closer to the earth, to our eyes, spirits of the land that we are settled or reside on. Giving consent, if you would like to receive support from me and my benevolent guiding spirits in moving our energy tonight. As I imagine everyone consenting, being pulled just a little closer into this gravitational circle that we've created. Exhaling everything that's ready to leave our field, heightening awareness of our sovereignty and our ability to direct our energy. Joining as collaborators, co-regulators, co-creators of this experience. As whatever time it is, wherever you are joining, whether the sun is out or not, becoming aware of the sun, whether you can see its light or not. The sun in the sign of Cancer, offering us that spotlight on who we are in this moment, whether we feel distant from the words that are revealing themselves to describe us, our unique prisms and frequencies. Listening to the sound of your breath and noticing any words, qualities, or textures that pop up as we are present in this moment. Thanking the sun for shining the light on who we are and what we stand for. Perhaps it's the words of our core values being listed off, or maybe just the pulsating of our heart as it beats with awareness of the things we care deeply about. Our loved ones, the ones that we engage with each day in our physical lives, the ones who keep us alive, be it the folks that we live with, maybe the folks that sell or provide us our food. Becoming aware with every breath of this web that contributes to our livelihood, that is inseparable from our existence. There can be things that we wish to change about these webs, but just being here and present, allowing this light to shine on what is already here and accessible to us. Maybe we just sense and see the faces, the plants, the animals that are part of what we believe in and who we show up for. As the light reaches with every breath a wider footprint out to the things that we choose to care for. These things we could choose to turn away from, turning ourselves, our energy, our attention toward them, extending this light that we have to share to all of the neighbors, the children, the elders, the environment, everything that deserves dignity and acknowledgement. The communities that you may not be a part of yourself, but that you've chosen to align yourself with as a ally, a co-conspirator. The light expanding, reaching across the entire globe to the lands and the people we may never see or meet. With every breath, imagining it amplifying that light, shining brighter, joining with the light of the others here present. As we just imagine this beautiful, collectively cast golden light touching all things, holding it with love, thanking the darkness while it gives room for things to decay, to compost, to rest. This season is just as important. And now becoming aware of the planet Jupiter. Taking a minute to receive the messages from Jupiter as it will soon join with the sun in the coming weeks. Allowing it to offer now even more insight and light to who it is you're becoming, knowing that you're already in motion. I'll give us a minute here to just breathe and receive. before we open our eyes, just taking the last few breaths to receive and accept these visions, knowing that if you can imagine it, if you can feel it and sense it, that you also possess the ability to bring it to life, to incorporate it into your reality in the physical realm. And perhaps the last few breaths shining light on those that will be in co-creation with you as you just continue to be present, as you expand naturally with every breath, your most empowered, sovereign, and abundant existence being this moment right now, allowing it to sustain, thanking yourself for your presence. And whenever you're ready, gently open your eyes, perhaps take a sip of water, move your body, write down anything that you don't want to forget. Thank you for being here with us tonight. Midori, take as much time as you need to return, and she'll then share what we have going on in the month of July. I want to give a shout out to Merrick, Syzygy, and the emails that they've been writing the last few months through our Substack, and encouraging everyone to read what they wrote as the month starts. So we have a lot of, they do such a wonderful, thoughtful, they're just an amazing writer. I really enjoy reading. It's like a nice little treat for me too, to see what you share for the month ahead. So thank you. Thanks everyone.
Oh my gosh, waterworks today. That really put me over the edge. I was just seeing I was just zooming out and seeing all of our connections, and that when Siobhan sent the group chat that what Mia saw for the village, it really it makes me cry, y'all, because I see it and I really feel it. I'm definitely one of those people that feels more like a back of the room type person. Like whenever I'm in a space, I want to just go sit in the back pew or go sit in the little corner and observe. And I mean, that's the magic, truly the magic of having virtual space. It gives, at least for me, this feeling of I can still feel myself. I'm still in my space, or there's a little bit of a removal, of the intensity that can happen with being in person. So I just thought that was such a beautiful metaphor for what we're doing here. I really needed to hear that. So thank you for channeling that today. And that guided meditation was really powerful. So this now we're turning now I'm turning into Mimi McGuire, which is my alter ego, to talk about what we got going on for this month. We have a little per usual. I mean, it's all up on our website, and I don't feel I feel like every time I go through everything, but really we got Wednesdays, our soft power co-working, 11 to 1:30 or 11 to 12:30, and then at 1 o'clock every other Wednesday is Village Grants co-working. So if you're a member, this is a space that I started to just co-work the process of grant application. So if that's something you're interested in, I know a lot of people in the village, it's going to be more of a body doubling space. I know a lot of people in the village are interested in applying to grants. So it's going to be just a space to do that together, to research whatever stage you're at, just to like pulse, making sure that I continue to show up for that. So that's my accountability. That's a space I'm holding for my accountability too. So that's every other Wednesday, and that starts, that's this week. So the 8th and the 22nd. And then we got Back to Breath on the 13th with Merrick, which is a breathwork space. I'm really excited for that. We have a new moon in Cancer writing circle on the 14th. We got a new moon coming up in Cancer. So get ready to cry some more, everyone, because it's going to be, some more tears, I feel like. That Tuesday in BA's Nathaniel is such a wonderful facilitator of that space to allow y'all to be witnessed in whatever comes up during that lunar cycle. Our alchemy activation is going to be on Monday, the 20th, and that's a space that I facilitate. Expressive arts and rest practice. And then we got Balkan Trance Dance on the 21st with Merrick, which is a ancestral magic dance space that I love too. It's really fun. And it's also really fun just learning another ancestral practice, movement practice. Let's see here. Village Social is always the last Monday of the month. So every first Monday is Soft Power Hour, and every last Monday is Village Members Social. Last Members Social was just me, Merrick, and Siobhan, and it was exactly what we needed, because it felt like a coven meeting. So shout out to y'all. But yeah, it kind of varies on who shows up to that, but it's always who needs to be there. So that's this month. I think we're taking a break. Yeah, Siobhan's taking a little break from group facilitation because she's been launching the Birth Realm, which is her signature doula package. That is a very, very exciting, and go check out her Instagram and subscribe to her newsletter, motherpearl.online, if you're interested. If you're birthing a version of yourself, head over there. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. The GoFundMe, not the GoFundMe. I feel like we should do a GoFundMe eventually, Siobhan. I think that is in the works, but the Give Butter is this place to give if y'all have the resources, just to remind y'all about our operational fundraiser.
We're at 44% of our goal. Yay! I think that's higher than last time I saw.
Yeah! Seriously though, every dollar counts. Every dollar counts, okay? All right, and I'll drop us into our prayer, our outro prayer. So just inviting some presence. And this is the prayer I wrote last Soft Power Hour. So maybe putting your hands in prayer position or anywhere on your body that needs some love to tap us out. May we stay connected to the sanctuary of our bodies, our home, the earth, our creative spirits, uplifted by the support of our well ancestors, deepening in trust when we need to walk alone and when we need connection and collaboration, knowing we are never really alone, always in communion with the world around us. May we be resourced in the soft power frequency, the frequency of creation, and honoring the deaths and transformation that occur in the process. May we learn to love and know ourselves deeply, stay open and curious to learning, and know when it's when to stand 10 toes down on our truth. May all beings be free to experience joy and play and laughter, and may we allow the vulnerability of our tears and grief to be an offering. May the vision of our shared liberation unfold with the flow and harmony of the universe May this church of soft power and village in the sky continue to be a sanctuary and oasis to all those who are called. And so it is. Make it so. Pose for the ancestors, my dear, as coined by Flo, the fairy goddess. We'll see you next time. Thank you.